Welcome to the Simplified Marketing Podcast. Straight talking ideas to grow your business.
Hello and welcome to the Simplified Marketing Podcast, the show that aims to help you grow your business. You can find out more about us and our experts at marketingsimplified.co.uk, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Now you can find out more about us at iTunes, but also as well, we've got a new YouTube channel. I know, exciting. My name is John Lawley and I'm your web wizard.
And I'm Georgia and I'm your brand guardian.
Now today, as we've just talked about here, we've just launched a YouTube channel, but also as well, we're seeing a lot more social media accounts being set up. So the focus of today's show is, which are the right social media channels for your business? So I think that's over to you, Miss Brand Expert.
Well, as everything always comes back down to your ideal clients, you need to sit down and work out who is it in your business that you're trying to target. Are they in the commercial space? Are they in the domestic? Are they male? Are they female? Are they what kind of age group are they in? What kind of industry are they in? And only then, when you've uncovered who you feel your ideal clients are, you can then locate which platforms that they actually use. And as a small business, that actually makes sense to then spend your time on those platforms. We don't have the budget like Nike and Coca-Cola and can be everywhere and throw masses, thousands and millions of pounds at amazing marketing campaigns all over TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, anywhere and everywhere. We need to be much smarter really and hone in, laser focused on the areas that we think, the platforms that we think our ideal clients are on. So I think that pretty much answers it.
There we are, done.
Podcast over.
Podcast over. We're all good. But I mean, this is the thing, because obviously people have a lot of time on their hands right now. And I know for a fact that I'm now following at least 20 or 30 new Instagram accounts, especially, mainly because I have to, because it might be members of your family or people you do business with who are just trying things out. Whether or not there's the right places to be putting their time in and in effort into, I mean, who knows? What would be the best indicator, do you think, then, of which channels to be using?
Well, why not ask your ideal clients? So let's say you are a builder and you have a big focus on domestic building. You actually don't work in the commercial space at all. And you know that your ideal clients are normally ladies, because of decision makers. We love our beautiful homes. They live in Hampstead in North London. They're about 45 years old. And you've had good relationships with some of these previous clients. Instead of just using the guesswork, why not ask them? Call some previous clients and say, I'm just doing a little bit of research because, we had a great relationship working on your loft and extension a couple of years ago. And I know you're really happy with the job we did. And we'd love more clients in your area and we'd love more clients like you. I just wondered if you could tell me, do you use Instagram more? Are you a Facebook person? Just sort of jotting down some notes on it. I don't think any client would be upset if they had their a builder that just built them their dream home asking them questions like that. Do a little bit of research to find out where they are, because if you're a builder and you're a 35-year-old male, you may not know what the 45-year-old female in Hampstead, where she's spending her time. So just ask.
I mean, it's so simple, isn't it? But that's great advice, because let's face it, most people just go on intuition, I find, in different businesses. Yeah. So pick up the phone, send an email, or just ask when you're there, what do you actually do? So I know how best to put my time and what to do.
Well, it's the same way with then when you're working with agencies like us, for example, and yourself, John. I know that when I'm helping my clients that are in the wedding industry, for example, and they're targeting brides, I know for a fact Instagram is huge for that industry. I know for my construction clients that are targeting the ladies that are 40 plus, that Facebook tends to be where they are, because Facebook demographic is sort of 30, 35 plus. There's certain kind of rules that some agencies can give you around about, and they can say, do you know what, I would advise this. If you're wanting to get into with commercial, if you're a tradesperson, you want to get in more with commercial companies, LinkedIn would be a great space. But you should always go from experience, ask the people that you've worked with as well, because it may open your eyes to some new insights that you might think, oh, actually, I didn't really think of that. And it could change your business.
Completely. And I think a lot of people may have said in the past, Facebook is the place to be because obviously most people are on Facebook. But are they actually doing business on Facebook? Has always been my kind of retort. I think if you're looking to sell something cheaply and quickly, then Facebook can often be a great place. But I know that Facebook groups and communities, for example, are actually a great place for leads and referrals.
Oh, I see it so often. Like, I'm a member of lots of local groups, not because I consider myself a pillar of the community. I probably don't, but because I know that in these groups, there are so many people actually asking for help. Like, I need a builder. Does anybody know a builder that can help with this new loft I want doing? Does anybody know a plumber? I've got a leak and I need this. My whole newsfeed now, I'm in Facebook groups for my clients so that I can recommend them. And it's just all that I see on my Facebook now. I especially say to tradespeople that are targeting the domestic sector, Facebook groups, you need to be in there. You need to have a presence. And it's not about selling. It's not, hello, I'm John Smith, the plumber, and we're offering 50% off to, install your next bathroom. It's about showing up consistently and talking to people, like engaging, commenting on other people's posts, like being helpful, giving advice. If someone said, oh, I've had a leak here, I'm not quite sure what to do, instead of just give me a call, like, show your knowledge, put in the comments, like, oh my goodness, I'm really sorry to hear that. Have you tried doing this first? If that doesn't work, here's my phone number. Like, speak like a person you're just trying to help rather than trying to sell at. And I think that's the difference. And that's where the businesses are seeing the power of social media when they're using it right. They're not using it to sell, but they're using it to help. And then by helping, then they reap all the rewards. So.
I like that you're talking about being social there and talking about trying to help someone out, because I've seen a lot of that where it's just a big pile on and it's like, oh yeah, my mate, here's his number. Great. All right. I've got the information now, but don't really care about you. Just call my mate, please. Or I need a referral type thing. But yeah, it's social media, isn't it? You've got to be social. You've got to be understanding. You have to build a relationship first before people are going to trust you.
It's a mindset shift, I guess, isn't it? Like, people, we're in the zone of we need to sell, we need to hit our target that we want to make this month, blah, blah, blah. Like, I need to let everyone know my service and stuff. But social media isn't like old school marketing. You have to have a real mindset shift. And think about it as just having conversations, having helpful conversations that will then, in the future, by being consistent and helpful, it will come back to you. Like, good things always come back, right? So that's what I find is one of the toughest things to educate my clients on, because they might be thinking, they think marketing is, here I am, buy from me, which is kind of like not really how it works nowadays. If you want to get these amazing results from any social platform, you need to show you're the expert. You need to show you care. You need to show the face, the voice, the people behind the business as well, because that's what people are buying into nowadays.
And the buzzword that you were mentioning before, consistency.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Because I've seen this a lot. It seems to be that, I've tried it. Yeah, okay. How long? Oh, a couple of days. Yeah, okay, it's fine. We didn't get anything out of it after a couple of days, so we just gave up and moved on and did something else. Yeah, fair enough. But surely if you had thought out the correct strategy, moved it along, maybe put a certain amount of resources in it for, say, 3 months, and then taking a decision, a proper business decision about what it takes to create those referrals, you might be in a better space. I don't know. Well,
I don't know about you, John, but I don't know if you got married after the first date, but you don't go out with somebody.
It was a done deal. Everyone just piled on.
No, your wife is lovely, perhaps, but you don't go out on a first date with someone, and, well, I don't know, maybe I could be speaking out of turn here, maybe that has happened to some of our listeners, but you don't ask someone to marry you on the first date, right? You get to know them, you get to like them and trust them. For us ladies, consistency is a big factor. Someone that's going to turn up when they say they're going to turn up and do what they say they're going to do. And over time, through building that relationship, you then invest and you hopefully end up married one day, right? Well, that's how I kind of see business as well. Like, you have to be in it for the long haul. And just because you might have had one conversation with one person once doesn't mean that they should buy from you. Like, they, especially on social media, I think the current stat is that they want to see... audiences want to see something from you 21 times before they purchase. Only a few years ago, that stat was 7 times. But because now everyone is on social, that figure has changed drastically, because there's a lot of traffic going on there now. There's so many of us putting money behind ads or brands and graphics and putting our message out there. that if you're not consistent and I see you once and I don't see you again for another 6 months, you don't post anything on social for 6 months, and then after that, another 3 months, another 6 months. But your competitor has been posting 4 times a week. They've been giving me tips, that 3 things I can do at home to fix my plumbing or my tree surgery. They've also shown me pictures of all their team, their lovely trades boys, all team shots in front of their new van, and how they've helped an elderly couple down the road in the community that maybe is my neighbours know them or something. You're building that relationship. And then I'm going to want to invest, but we have to put in the legwork. You can't just have one conversation or one date and expect the investment. So a bit of a strange description and analogy there, but I hope that's kind of like cleared it up.
Tick the box, there you go. Look, for all advice, whether it's social media, branding, or your love life, Roger is on hand. Don't worry.
Yep, call me. I'm always available for advice.
Well, I mean, I like that. Personally speaking, I know that certain businesses and certain clients that we've worked with have had a lot of success using things like Instagram, but they have to be a very, very visual business. So the businesses I've seen are people who are making, like interior designers, architects, coming up with interesting things, showing their different designs and things that they've done. And they seem to do very well. And like you say, I'm sure you've seen the different images a number of times to be qualified enough to say, actually, these guys are great. I'm going to pick up the phone or get in touch with them and have a conversation. If you are, I don't know, if you're a plumber, then I suppose you have to be very, very
creative.
Creative, yeah, to start getting any kind of traction with something.
Do you know what? That's really interesting, because I do agree with that to an extent. I do always think, gosh, like, I wouldn't really advise my plumbing clients to, set up an Instagram page and just put all their focus there, because goodness me, with respect, any plumbers that are listening, pipes and things, it's only so sassy in a photo, isn't it? A wall full of different pipes and tools, like it may not necessarily be visually appealing. A bathroom install, for example, where you've gone a before and an after and you've completely transformed a room, absolutely. But there's a couple of plumbers that I follow on Instagram, and absolutely their feed, the photos and the images they put up, I don't engage with at all. I'm not interested in. However, they do lots of lives and stories, and it's them walking through London saying, here I am today in Farringdon. I'm about to go into this building, and today we're doing this. And they're quite a personality as well. And I watch them, and I'll follow them because I like them. I'm not interested in the images they're putting up because they don't appeal to me personally. But their videos and their lives, which they're doing for free themselves and still showcasing their business and their brand, that's what I'd buy into. Whether they're getting lots of inquiries, because they're not clients of mine, they're just people I've seen, I don't know, because is their ideal client on Instagram? It's sort of a younger audience, and they seem to be doing quite a lot of commercial work. But in terms of building up a brand awareness and a personality, and as well as doing other platforms, then yeah, absolutely. But you need to be creative, like you said. You need to sort of think outside the box if you don't have a visual business.
Oh, no, that is a brilliant point, though, isn't it? Because be creative like that. I love that. But maybe is it more that is one of the ideas that you can use social media for, regardless of which platform, because you can do a Facebook Live and you can record a video and post it on LinkedIn, for example. So there are other ways to actually do that and come across and build that soap opera and make yourself real as a person for your clients.
Yeah, well, this is what's the big part of social media, and it was kind of a game changer, wasn't it? When it was Facebook that started it, wasn't it, with the Facebook Lives, and people almost being able to have their own TV channel where you could actually, unlike YouTube, you just had to watch. Facebook, you could watch someone. I could watch you in your living room, and I could ask you a question, and you could then talk to me from your living room with the question that I've asked. And it's a game changer for businesses because it brings the business and the client together. I don't think people utilize that enough. I know that platforms like Facebook and Instagram that have that functionality, when you're using that, they're going to push you up the rankings and show more of your business pages and your business content because they're seeing you as using all their tools. So they're like loving you. So I'm always trying to encourage my clients to go live. It's not something I can help them with because I can't get to the top of the tree when they're doing their tree surgery, or I'm not really allowed up on the roof when they're doing their roofing. But I'm always trying to encourage them to do that safely because it's like showing us their world. I would never be at the top of a tree, like, and able to see a whole view of London.
Yeah.
But my tree surgery client, he gets to do that, and he's been up there with the phone, and he's shown everyone where he is, and that's incredible for him. That's his day to day, and he's just like, well, that's nothing exciting. But the first time he did that on his Facebook page, he had so many comments from people. They're like, oh my God, this is what you get to do. Like, look at that view. That's not right, get around my house right now and remove that stump that's in the front garden. But when they do need that service, they're going to remember that tree surgeon that was at the top of the tree and showing them the whole of London. That's what creative marketing is, being memorable for being engaging.
Yeah, and they've had an introduction to that person already, so they kind of feel that they know them in the same way that they've seen them a character on television. In the same way that you'd consume it in that way. It was quite interesting. The other day, we're in early June now, our listeners, but the other day we had a guy come round to inspect the pipes.
Okay.
Obviously, if we're going to go with the innuendo here, and it's going to be a whole bit of good fun. We had a drainage guy pop in because we're thinking about maybe, there's some spare land at the side of the house, but there's some drains and drain covers in there. We don't know where the drains come in, and we were advised to have a drain survey. But the guy who came round was really quite knowledgeable, and he was quite a likable chap. So he's there, stood in his big overalls, sweating because it's a hot day. He's got this CCTV camera attached to these hoses, and these hoses are going down in the drains. And you see him like, oh, look, and there's the measurement, and you've gone down 10 meters now during this thing, and we're having a look at the inside of the pipes and what's here. And then he's like giving all this different information about the council, who owns this, who owns that, who are you going to have to contact if you are going to build over this, or can you build over this? How do you redirect things? Where do all these drains come from? And it was quite an insightful 45 minutes. And who'd have thought it's a mundane thing like drains. He said, oh, you really should have had this done when you had the house survey. And, oh, look, you might have a blockage here. Get in touch with Thames Water just in case to get it sorted out. All this information kind of came out of this guy. It was just obviously just doing his job. Who knew?
Well, do you know, how does he advertise himself? And do you know what he does for his marketing? Is he on a specific platform, or do you not? Don't know.
Well, this is a good one about asking about your ideal, asking your clients, what do you do? He doesn't. Now, this is the really annoying kind of thing. I suppose he's in a certain area where his particular trade is very well sought after. So his particular marketing isn't done on social, although he could reach a much bigger audience, I think, doing that, especially as actually he's quite engaging and quite good to do that. He has found through networking that he has got several different architects and engineers and surveyors. And he's just coupled onto those people who are supplying him with a heck of a lot of work. The reason I found out about him was by speaking to an architect.
Which is really interesting because all of those ideal clients are professionals. So if he had a LinkedIn page, if he actually wanted to get in with more architects and more structural engineers and more people within that industry, that would be where they mostly are. So he could make even more of a killing if he decided to think he could take on some more staff members and maybe grow his business. But if he's quite happy with the amount of work he's getting and the size of his team, then awesome. But that is
a really good point. That is a really good point, isn't it? He could. And I don't know if you've noticed this as well, but since the pandemic and everything, LinkedIn seems to be a very valuable tool now for businesses, especially reaching those B2B customers and contacts, because people have a bit more time to actually respond and are actually doing more on LinkedIn themselves. So it being a more active space. And I know that Microsoft, having bought it, are now investing a lot of money in developing it. So it becomes a bit more of a business tool to rival, say, Facebook. But there's a lot more investment going into something like that, which seems to be paying a lot more dividends. I know, for example, just starting a nice conversation with people with different direct mails has actually helped my business and helped me create a number of referrals for other people within my network.
So what you've been doing this through LinkedIn as well? You've been finding yourself on that channel more over the last few months with the bit of extra time you might have had as well? Because I know for myself, it wasn't one that I had an awful lot of experience in, but I have been dabbling a lot more and I find it really useful.
Personally, yes, it has been. It's been a really good tool, I think, for me and my business, definitely, because building websites for small to medium sized businesses, gets you out there and gets you able to showcase what you've done. Now, I suppose in a way, I was kind of an early adopter with something like LinkedIn. So many moons ago, working in a different job in the West End of London, I managed to build up a connection base of something like 2,500 to 3,000 people. And it's since grown over those 15 or so years that I've had an account. So I've got a lot of different connections. So it's easier then, because you've got a bigger audience, to be able to push something out for people to see it and react to it. But actually, even doing things like the podcast, obviously plugging ourselves, listeners, on something like LinkedIn has worked actually quite well, because going through the back catalogue with a showcase page, which you can have. So, if you're listening, you can have your own personal page, you can have your business page, but you can have a number of showcase pages within a business just to showcase part of your business or a skill within that business. So a showcase page then is putting out a lot of back content of the Simplified Marketing podcast, which is actually then being picked up, especially the interviews. Now, this is one of the things I noticed very much. So if you're promoting material, especially in a video form, about other people who have a LinkedIn account and lots of connections on LinkedIn, then that has meant that we have then had a lot of listeners and viewers of the podcast, because everyone is going to go, hey, these guys are showcasing how good I am. Isn't this wonderful? I'm going to showcase them I'm going to share it pretty much to everyone else I know so that more people can see it. So the more interviews that we've done, the more people have actually seen episodes of the podcast and found out about us and watched more episodes. And then since then, we've had a lot more people wanting to come on as guests, which I found particularly interesting.
Well, this is the whole point. It's being social, isn't it? Rather than just sticking within the team. I know the three of us, or even sometimes the two of us, we do our own little shows and whatever else. But by bringing in other people that have completely different connections or in completely different industries, finding out about them as well, that's all very social too, right? And that's what social media loves. It loves seeing people from different walks of life coming together, whereas in the usual day-to-day, offline and away from cameras, we don't always get to see a designer, a web designer and an accountant sitting together, for example, talking about all things business, or a business coach, an accountant, or a financial advisor like we had a couple of weeks ago as well, speaking from all things very stat and finance related, pieced in with some creativity from the two of us. Like, it's brilliant. It's fantastic when you can bring all those kind of groups of people together, and social media is just a way of putting that to the masses. So I think with everything that's happened, COVID-19, and people maybe having a bit more time at home and thinking, do you know what? Yeah, let me start that LinkedIn account, or actually I've never done Instagram. Let me have a think. I hope that from starting these platforms that they continue to use them. Don't just set them up and then we'll never see anything again.
Well, there you have it. That's me and George's take on social media. I hope you've enjoyed that and taken away a few good points there. If you have any questions about social media and you'd like to reach out, or if there's other topics you'd like us to cover in the show, you can get in touch with the show at hello@marketingsimplified.co.uk. Just drop us an email to that address and we'll see what we can do. So thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to leave us a review on iTunes, and we'll see you on LinkedIn, YouTube, or one of those other platforms very soon.
That's all for this time, but don't worry, we'll be back with more soon. Stay tuned for new episodes at marketingsimplified.co.uk.